Straight ahead on WBKB News at 11, a bridge in Rogers City is finally expected to get a much-needed renovation. Plus, community mental health cuts across the board in Northeast Michigan, as well as general fund cuts here in Alpena. And reaction to this year's featured artist that will perform at the Alpena County Fairgrounds Grandstand. We'll have those stories, plus your local weather and sports. WBKB News at 11 starts now.
From Rogers City to Tawas City and all points in between, this is Northeast Michigan's award-winning news team. Your source for news, weather, and sports. We are WBKB News at 11.
The Linden Street Bridge in Rogers City is finally expected to undergo a major renovation after years of needing it. Good evening, I'm Ashley Reed. The renovation project was approved by the Northern Bridge Council after a competitive process. Tonight, the Rogers City Board approved plans to sign the title sheet, which will allow the Michigan Department of Transportation to begin the bidding process for construction. The bridge, which was installed in 1989, has a leaking expansion joint. The renovation project will include stripping the bridge, redoing the sidewalk on the east side, putting up new guardrails, and adding a waterproof membrane.
It's asset management in general. The mantra of asset management is to prolong the life of an infrastructure versus waiting for it to fail and then having to replace it.
The majority of the renovation is federally funded with money delegated through the state. The project in total will cost around $104,000. Renovation will begin on August 4th and is expected to be done before October 25th. Community mental health programs in the state of Michigan are now facing a 54% cut in general fund money, causing the Northeast Michigan Community Health Center to drop 128 people's service. Beginning today across the state, Michigan's general fund balance for community mental health was reduced by $88,950,000. For the Northeast Michigan branch, this means going from $154,000 a month to only $71,000. General fund balances cover behavioral health costs of those with no coverage or partial coverage. Last year, the Northeast Michigan branch serviced 430 people, leaving 128 of those people this year to make tough choices.
It is an absolute disruption in their lives. There is no question we are harming people. I mean, there's little doubt in my mind that people aren't suffering from this action that we've been forced to take.
These cuts are largely in part to generate local match dollars for the new Healthy Michigan plan in preparation for when the federal government no longer pays 100% into the Healthy Michigan expansion proposed by Governor Snyder last year. But cuts will go even deeper starting October 1st for the Northeast Michigan branch, when they will be docked an additional $21,000. LaFramboise says they are encouraging everyone to try and apply again for Healthy Michigan after reading studies that said between 4,500 and 5,800 people in Northeast Michigan will be eligible. And a 29-year-old Montmorency County man has been arrested on a 2-count felony warrant for child abuse. Count 1 of the child abuse warrant is for second-degree child abuse with a max penalty of 10 years in prison, and count 2 is for third-degree child abuse, punishable up to 2 years in prison or 5 years probation. The man was located near the Montmorency County Sheriff's Office and was taken to the Alpena County Jail. His bond has been set for 10% of $20,000, and his name is still being withheld at this time. AmeriGas in Alpena was pleased to wrap up March with helping not only one organization but 2. At the beginning of March, we told you about AmeriGas collecting canned goods for the Salvation Army in return for money off of your bill. But as the month went on, they had a new idea to bring in the Huron Humane Society as a participant who is also an AmeriGas customer, leading to an anonymous donation of over $2,000 that will cover the shelter's next 2 bills.
We have actually in our particular area, there's 18 offices that are actually collecting food each year at this time. And at last count, I'm not sure the full count because I haven't gotten everyone's, but we've collectively gathered over 7,000 items.
Major Craig Stoker for the Salvation Army stocked up his van today with over 720 non-perishable food items and said this time of the year is so crucial because they are just about running out of everything from Christmas donations. WBKB 11 meteorologist Adam Claiborne is here with the first look at weather. And Adam, I know we saw a weird mixture of rain and snow today. What was going on?
Yeah, we started off with the rain in the morning, and some of us, we probably didn't enjoy that, but then once the snow came in, Oh my goodness, it's just still winter outside, and we are going to continue to see that later on during the week, so it's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Let's go ahead and take a look at our current conditions. We are currently at 32 degrees. West winds are at 9 miles per hour. That colder air will continue to make its way in throughout the overnight, so expect lows to be right around the lower 20s. Looking back into the rest of the nation, you can see 19 back at Bismarck, 32 in Minneapolis. That colder air is making its way into northern Wisconsin and into the UP as they are currently in the 20s and the teens. That cooler air mass will make its way to us by later on tonight and tomorrow. Not going to be expecting highs to be in the upper 40s like we were today. No, we will be back in the upper 30s, which is a good 5 to 10 degrees below average. The rain showers, they did move through this morning, and then we finally saw the area of low pressure make its way in here and wrap in that colder air. So we'll be seeing that throughout the day tomorrow. The rain, it has changed over to flurries, and it will only be light flurries if we see anything else throughout the overnight. A cooler day is on the way for tomorrow, and by the time we make our way into tomorrow night, we are expecting another disturbance, which will be a weak one, but still it's going to be bringing us another chance of some frozen precipitation. And we'll talk more about that as well as have your full extended outlook coming up in a few minutes. Ashley?
Thanks, Adam. Well, a breakout country singer is coming to Alpena this summer to perform on stage. WATZ and the Alpena County Fair Board were happy to announce today that John Party will be the featured artist for this year's Listeners Appreciation Night. The concert will be held on August 12th at the Alpena County Fairgrounds. Party is an up-and-coming artist who recently released his debut album, Write You a Song, and is known mainly for his hit single, Up All Night. County Fair Board members say they are excited and very proud that WATZ and the community can work together to bring such a big-name star to Alpena.
It's for everybody from the 5-year-olds all the way up to the 99-year-olds. You know, it's a great night of country music. It's not something that happens around Alpena very often, is where we get, you know, a national recording artist of this magnitude to come to Alpena and put on a concert for us.
The concert will be at 8:30 p.m. on Tuesday, August 12th. The Alpena Township Board of Trustees has approved a budget for their new fiscal year. A special meeting was held yesterday at the Township Hall to discuss the finances for the fiscal year that starts today. The budget includes salaries for all township employees, which have remained constant over the past 6 years. Officials say both revenue and expenditures are down this year compared to previous years.
Our unit of government is pretty minimal in comparison for the size of our community and the work that we do. We operate, I believe, in a very good fashion. We have a balanced budget, and we try very hard not to overspend.
Twite says there are no plans to increase the budget anytime soon, but they expect new growth in the community over the next year to help bring in more revenue. The Department of Natural Resources, in partnership with other Great Lake associations, will be hosting 3 regional workshops this spring. The workshops will highlight research and information about Lake Huron's fishery, giving the opportunity to reflect back on what happened with the fishery last year, plus learn and understand some of the ecological changes.
These workshops are just a really tremendous opportunity to bring fisheries researchers and managers together with people who care about the Great Lakes fisheries in the communities. So charter boat captains, interested anglers, bait shop owners, and just people who care about Lake Huron in general.
One of the workshops will be held in Alpena at the NOAA Great Lakes Maritime Heritage Center on Tuesday, April 22nd from 6 to 9 p.m. Workshops are free, but pre-registration is requested by calling 989-354-9870. In April is proclaimed as Social Host Awareness Month, where the city and county of Alpena join Alpena Public Schools in promoting the awareness of underage drinking. The proclamation is to remind adults and minors what the consequences are as providers and underage drinkers.
I think it's our responsibility as a municipality to put that reminder out every spring, because it's pretty much the last thing a teenager wants is to start his summer with a terrible, car accident or minor possession or something on their record. So just a reminder that it's illegal.
Officials say adults who provide alcohol to those below the legal drinking age of 21 are placing youth at risk for health, safety, and legal problems. You can read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on other news items online. Visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night. When we come back, we'll check in with meteorologist Adam Claybon for the weather forecast. Plus, we'll tell you where you can find the best markets for rental returns. That and more coming up in your Money Watch. Thanks for joining us here tonight, everyone. For our state news this evening, the question of what happens to things when they approach black holes in the galaxy has had people coming up with theories for years. WLNS reporter Nick Perot sat down with an MSU professor who says he found the answer.
In physics, it's a question that's puzzled scientists and even the mind of Stephen Hawking for decades.
As far as I was concerned, with that, the proof was finished.
But the answer to Stephen Hawking's black hole theory was solved by Michigan State's own Chris Adami.
The theory, that Stephen Hawking established, almost 40 years ago, was that black holes, in a sense, gobble up information. And that is a big problem from a fundamental point of view because the laws of physics shouldn't permit this. Hundreds of pages later.
But 10 years of scribbling notes and using mathematical tools by this astronomy and physics professor would lead to the answer.
What I discovered is that there was a fundamental process that allows black holes to actually make copies of information before they're being gobbled up.
A discovery that Adami says isn't a matter of him being right or Hawking wrong.
Plugging this hole, in a sense, in that theory, Stephen should be very happy because, what it shows is that his fundamental framework was correct.
Despite the results being published in a British journal, Adami says the real success would be hearing from Mr. Hawking himself.
Saying, thank you, Chris, because, his work in 1975 was really fundamental. It has started people thinking in areas that they hadn't thought about before.
Now only time will tell if Mr. Hawking will have an answer for Adami's discovery.
Moving into your Money Watch, automakers reported March sales today. Chrysler is reporting a 13% jump in U.S. sales last month. Analysts estimate auto sales in the U.S. rose about 2% to a total of 1.5 million new cars and trucks. And the largest U.S. automaker, General Motors, usually issues its sales data in the morning, but GM didn't release the data until this afternoon due to what they say was a computer systems issue that impacted dealer sales reporting. GM's CEO testified on Capitol Hill today about a defect in the company's small cars that has been linked to 13 deaths. And where can you find the best markets for rental returns? Realty Track calculated rental returns on 3-bedroom rentals across the country. You can see their findings on this map here. The areas are ranked by color from red for poor to green for excellent. The top rental markets include Wayne County, Michigan and Clayton County, Georgia. Some of the worst rental returns are in from New York City and San Francisco. There's more to come on WBKB News. Shannon McGrattan will be in with the latest news in sports, but first, Adam Claybon is next with your full weather forecast. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. Meteorologist Adam Claybon has been keeping an eye on the weather for us. Adam?
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our satellite and radar first, Ashley. We can see that there are some clouds around the region. Most of the snow that we saw early on during the evening, they gave us that nice coating of white snow across our yards, not really on the pavement, but that is now all out of here, and we'll be expecting actually partial clearing throughout the overnight. A few clouds maybe making their way in with this little small feature to our south that will be providing rain for portions of northern Illinois and northern Indiana. But for us, we will be seeing high pressure build in, and for tomorrow that will result in mostly clear skies. 33 degrees in Oscoda, seeing more of the lower 30s in Rogers City, also in Alpena. Atlanta at 32 degrees. Down in West Branch, we are at 32. And that colder air will be continuing to make its way in from the northwest at 21 in Marquette, 27 at Escanaba. We'll see more of the lower 20s throughout the overnight. Winds currently coming from the west, 15 miles per hour in Houghton Lake, 12 miles per hour in Oscoda. Look how quickly they're coming here into Pelston. 23 miles per hour. This is a sustained wind, and we'll continue to notice that winds, they will be up there, especially for us tomorrow. And we'll see that these wind chills will start to come down throughout the overnight, currently at 13 in Gaylord and back in the single digits. That should make your way up in Marquette. Weather headlines, the quick flurries that we have been seeing, they are now clearing out, as well as seeing more of the clouds starting to clear out throughout the overnight. Back in the 30s for afternoon highs, and winter, it tries to make a return by Thursday with our next opportunity of snow. And it does look like it's going to be small chances, anywhere between 20 to 30%, but better chances will be as you go farther south in our viewing area around Rose City to Oscoda and on southward. You will see those better chances of snow. But as we go ahead and take a look at our current system, this area of of low pressure pushes off to the northeast. Rain showers going to be making their way out of here. All that moisture is gone. And then as we take a look at tomorrow, that's when high pressure is really going to be in control, and we'll see mostly sunny skies across the viewing area. Although temperatures will be cooler with that cooler air mass in place, highs only going to be making their way in the upper 30s and also in the lower 40s. And then later on during the week, this is what we are going to be looking out for. This next disturbance making its way out of the central plains is going to be bringing a good amount of moisture to the region. But for right now, we're calling for a rainstorm mix across northeast Michigan. As you go a little farther north and west, they could be expecting maybe up to a foot of snow into the UP. So it just all depends on how this weather system will track. If it comes a little farther south and a little farther towards the east, we could be looking at more of the heavier snowfall as well. But for right now, if any accumulations, we will see about an inch or two. I will continue to monitor that for you. This area of low pressure, it is out of here. We're seeing that the mild conditions, they're gone as well. The snow showers, they will fade away. Wednesday looks pretty nice for us. By 12 p.m. around your noon and lunchtime hour, maybe a few clouds around the area, but that will all clear out, and by tomorrow evening we'll be mostly clear before more clouds come in by Thursday with our next disturbance. And by the noon hour on Thursday, we'll be watching out for the snow and maybe some isolated freezing rain. 21 degrees tonight, isolated early flakes, and then west-southwest winds will be at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, winds will shift more from a northerly direction at 10 to 20 miles per hour. So those breezy conditions, we'll see more of a sunnier sky. 41 degrees in Oscoda, 38 in Atlanta, and 43 for your high in Mile. Tomorrow night, clouds, they will thicken up yet again, and then probably well after midnight, around 4 to 5 p.m., we'll see that next opportunity of snow make its way in. North winds around 5 miles per hour. Lows will be in the 20s. Our day planner, 37 degrees for us in Alpena, starting to see more of that moisture move its way in by tomorrow night. And our extended outlook, Thursday, we'll see another chance of snow. Friday, that's going to be the day when we have that larger system make its way in, and that will even linger on into Saturday.
All right, let's hope we can avoid as much as that snow as possible. Thanks, Adam. And now it's time for today's photo of the day. Today's photo was sent in by Tom Thomas of Harrisville. He says he woke up yesterday morning to this amazing color in the sky. That certainly is amazing. I love the pink and orange colors. What a beautiful sunrise. Thank you, Tom, for sending us this photo. If you have a photo you would like to send us, email a photo along with a short description to news@wbkb11.com. Coming up on WBKB News, new research suggests a link between your blood pressure when you're young and your mental health in middle age. More on that coming up in your Health Watch. Welcome back, everyone. In tonight's Health Watch, being heart healthy as a young adult may help you stay mentally sharp in midlife. In a study that spanned 25 years, people under 30 whose blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol levels were slightly above the recommended guidelines scored lower on memory and thinking tests in their 40s and 50s. Researchers from California say elevated blood pressure and cholesterol can lead to plaque buildup in the arteries leading to the brain. Taking a low dose of aspirin may increase survival rates for colon cancer patients. Researchers in the Netherlands looked at nearly 1,000 patients. They found the death rate for patients who took aspirin for 2 weeks or more after their diagnosis was lower than for patients who did not take aspirin. And a new study finds eating 7 servings of fruits and vegetables a day lowers your overall risk of death 42%. The risk of cancer death goes down 25%, and heart disease 31%. Researchers in England found fresh vegetables had the most protective effect, but dried or packaged fruit as well as fruit juice seemed to increase the risk, possibly because of added sugars in processed fruit products. Moving into our national news, the head of General Motors was on Capitol Hill today to answer questions about a faulty ignition switch that is linked to 13 deaths. The part would have cost less than $1 to fix, but it took GM 10 years to order a recall. CBS's Craig Boswell has the latest from Capitol Hill.
I am deeply sorry.
General Motors CEO Mary Barra began her appearance on Capitol Hill with an apology. She said she doesn't know why it took more than 10 years to recall a faulty ignition switch blamed in at least 13 deaths. She said things are different now.
We will not shirk from our responsibilities now or in the future. Today's GM will do the right thing.
But the right thing could have cost the company just 57 cents apiece. That was the price to replace the ignition switches, which could move accidentally, cutting off the car's power systems.
So when GM concluded that the tooling cost and price pieces are too high, what does that mean?
I find that statement to be very disturbing.
Lawmakers also questioned Barra about why a replacement switch was given the same part number, making it impossible for mechanics to know a good one from a faulty one.
It is not our process and it is not acceptable.
Family members of those killed in crashes linked to the bad switches listened to Barra's apologies. For some, they came too late.
Our daughters, sons, sisters, brothers, mothers, fathers, wives, and husbands are gone because they were a cost of doing business, GM's style.
Barra returns to the hot seat Wednesday when a Senate committee will drive the questioning. Craig Boswell for CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Congress also grilled the head of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which twice failed to investigate GM even after the fatal crashes suggested a problem. Well, sports is coming up next, and Shannon McGrattan is here with a preview. Shannon?
Ashley High School sports are looking for the light at the end of this dark winter tunnel with the spring season just a week away. Coming up after the break, we're checking in with Alpena's soccer team to see how they're looking to make a long district run this season. Stay right here for that story and more on WBKB News at 11. It's hard to imagine playing a spring sport with snow still on the ground and more expected to come this weekend. But with spring break in the past, Alpena girls soccer is doing everything it can to prepare for the season ahead after losing to TC Central in the first round of districts last year. Down 7 seniors, the Wildcats are working on combining old and new talent, which they believe will have its advantages against big North teams. Practicing inside has actually become a norm for Alpena as they use the high school's gymnasium and plaza pool for conditioning in preparation for what could be the Wildcats' first game next Tuesday against Ogama Heights.
You can't mirror an outdoor field that's 120 yards long and 70 yards wide in a gymnasium, but you know, we're trying our best.
It is difficult because it's a gym floor and not grass, so the ball is moving a lot faster, but it also helps with our skill to become better because everything is kind of more at a faster pace.
Forcing players to utilize basic skills every day to get their bodies ready for 80-minute full field games.
This year will be a lot more about focusing on conditioning because last year we had a problem with that. So this year is going to be a lot more running and working hard at practices just so we can get to that level and hopefully continue in districts.
We just have to practice and practice over again and make sure that we're staying together as a team. We all have the potential. It's about showing the potential and making sure we collectively move.
On the court, Alpena girls tennis is having an easier time inside. However, with the practically new varsity team, the Wildcats know they have a lot of work to do with their first home match being Monday against Grayling. Last year, the squad graduated 8 seniors, allowing 4 sophomores and 4 freshmen the chance to compete at a higher level before getting the opportunity to play in every match this upcoming season.
We have a lot of younger kids, but they came in with a lot of skills already. They know how to hit basic shots, so now it's a matter of talking about strategy.
With the court time we've had, everyone's improved a lot, and I think we're all just getting to know each other, so we're just kind of moving around a little bit.
And it's really cool to kind of see it metamorphosize into a team instead of just individual players.
Next week, Alpena will host 2 matches at the Aplex before playing outside at Traverse City Central on April 17th. But for now, the Wildcats say they are focusing on improving every day.
One more is our team motto, I guess, and we work on getting one more ball back, just winning one more point than you did before, and that's what we're really trying to help everyone understand.
We're just trying to look at every match, work on something that you want to work on. You want fewer double faults this match, you want to hit more balls down the line or communicate better with your doubles partner. So trying to find individual things for everybody to work on.
After Thursday's 5-4 loss to the Canadians, the Red Wings knew they had to turn things around in order to have a chance at making their 23rd straight playoff appearance. So what did Detroit do to get their postseason hopes alive? Win back-to-back games, of course, but after a victory-filled weekend, it's back to the ice for these Hockeytown Stars that look to top the Bruins for the 3rd time this season. The last time Detroit met its Eastern Conference foe was in November when the Wings won 6-1 at home. Going into tomorrow's 8 o'clock puck drop, Detroit hopes to improve on its top wildcard standing against a team that leads the NHL with 110 points. Before the game, Pavel Datsyuk will decide whether or not he'll play for the first time since March 5th, possibly giving the Wings another weapon on home ice. Going on tomorrow afternoon in D-Town, the Tigers played their second of 3 games against the Royals. Starting pitcher for Detroit will be American League Cy Young Award winner Max Scherzer, who won his first 13 decisions last season before finishing second in the majors with 240 strikeouts. On Monday, Detroit topped Kansas City 4-3 when newly signed Alex Gonzalez hit a walk-off single with 1 out left in the 9th. First pitch is set for 1:08. Southwest of Detroit and Indiana, the Pistons look to capitalize on the struggling Pacers by starting their first winning streak in 7 weeks. Last night, Detroit was able to come back in the 4th quarter against Milwaukee to end a 3-game losing skid that pushed the Pistons 5.5 games behind the 8th-place Hawks. In the last 2 games, Greg Monroe has finished with a double-double, giving Detroit some playoff hope with just 8 games left in the regular season. So obviously tomorrow is going to be a Detroit sports-filled day, starting with the Tigers in the afternoon and wrapped up by the Pistons and the Red Wings. So hopefully we can go 3 for 3, excuse me, I can't speak tonight, 3 for 3 tomorrow in D-Town.
All right, and after the last win with the Red Wings against the Bruins, it looks like that could be hopeful. And then the Tigers, they did well too, so.
They lost their first game to the Bruins in the beginning of the season, but since then, they've won 6 of the last 7 contests. So stats are in their favor. We'll see if they can actually execute well at the Joe.
All right, sounds good. Well, coming up on WBKB News, meteorologist Adam Claiborne will be back with one last look at weather. Welcome back, everyone. Meteorologist Adam Claiborne is here with a final look at the weather. So I know we've talked, we might have some snow.
Yeah, I was speaking to a lady actually at Walmart today, and she just did not want me to say the word snow yet again.
I don't want to hear the word snow either.
Snow April Fool's joke, sorry. We're going to see more of that by the time we make our way into tomorrow night. Look at it. 37 degrees for a high tomorrow, so not even getting back up to average for highs, which should be in the lower 40s during this time of the year. 23 for tomorrow night, and that snow actually lingers on into Thursday, although chances will be small, only right around 30%. Better chances come in by Friday with that next larger disturbance, and we'll see around 40% not only on Friday, but also for Saturday, before we get one decent day during the weekend on Sunday. Shouldn't be too bad. 42 degrees and mostly sunny.
42 has felt pretty good lately compared to the weather that we've had the rest of the winter.
Yeah, so we'll take it.
All right. Well, an interesting story here. A New York high school senior, Quasi Enan, has been accepted to not 1, but 8 Ivy League schools and 4 other top universities: Harvard, Yale, Cornell, Princeton, just to name a few. A first-generation son of immigrants from Ghana, he says his parents hovered over him growing up, never accepting a grade below 95. Less than 15% of applicants get accepted into the Ivy League, so Enan decided to go all out thinking he'd get accepted into 1. So how did he do it? All 8. Enan studied religiously and took the SATs 3 times until finally satisfied with a 2250 out of 2400. Enan has until May 1st to decide. He's leaning toward Yale, where he will likely study the medical field. He also runs track and field, plays the viola, and sings. And at this point, he thinks he wants to be a cardiologist. So,
wow.
What a smart high school senior. I am extremely impressed.
True self-discipline, yes.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for you tonight. Ashley McDowell will be back here in the morning. Have a great night.